I want you to understand why even asking yourself, why am I never chosen, is already says a lot about how you view your worth. You don't find a lot of worthiness in yourself, or you question it a lot, because to ask the question, why am I never chosen? Basically, you've already confirmed or spoken to the atmosphere, one, you're never chosen. Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance. And today's episode is brought to you by my journal, Get Unstuck When Life Sucks, the 30-day guided self-help journal with journal prompts. Get unstuck when life sucks. Do you feel stuck? Does your life suck? Have you been in the same place in life for so long that you've given up hope on trying to move forward because you're just over it? Then this journal is perfect for you. It gives practical steps to turn your sucky life around. The goal of this journal isn't to change your life in 30 days. The goal is to give you the clarity and confidence you need to begin the journey to moving forward and getting unstuck. You have everything you need right now to get unstuck. You just have to believe and begin to move. This journal is available exclusively on Amazon.com right now. Get it right now. It is great for the new year. We are in January. We're almost in February already. That is wild, you guys. Like, what? It's almost February of 2023 and I'm still saying 2022. That is crazy, you guys. So, what happened over the weekend? What happened? I don't know. I don't think a lot of stuff happened really, but Beyonce did perform in Dubai. She graced us with her wonderful, spectacular vocals. She's aging like fine wine. She's aging very well, and her voice is aging quite nicely. When people get older, a lot of the times they can't hit those notes. But nah, Beyonce proven to us that all it takes is a little practice. Her and Usher. Usher be hitting them notes, boy. But I think it just goes to show how hard people work, because I think it takes humility to understand that no matter where you get in life, you can continue to practice and to maintain. I think a lot of people get comfortable and they stop trying to grow and stop like taking vocal lessons thinking like, oh, well, I made it, I'm good enough. No, like you just got to keep going, because if you appreciate your gift, why wouldn't you want to keep honing it? You know what I mean? So I think that's wonderful. I love both Beyonce and Usher. I know that was a random, but I just wanted to get into that. But anyway, today I wanted to speak on the subject, why am I never chosen? So I posted this TikTok video, and just y'all go watch it. I'm pinning it right now. 3, 2, 1. This was the clip. Hi guys. I have a message for you. This is a vulnerable message. If you're like me and the majority of your life you've been single, like in high school you were never the girl that was in the long-term relationship. In college you didn't get the boyfriend. In your early 20s, you were just kind of bumping your head all over the place trying to figure it out, but you were still single. You may have had a few relationships here and there, but you were never in a long-term relationship. This message is for you. Stop telling yourself you're not the one who gets chosen, because when you say that to yourself, you're basically speaking it into the atmosphere. The Bible says that life and death lies in the power of one's tongue. So when you continue to speak something, it becomes true. And that's not true. Just because you had a few mishaps, because people mishandled you, just because maybe it was you. Because I know in moments that was me. I picked wrong because I didn't know how to pick properly. Nobody told me the right people to pick, right? So I did pick wrong. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't learn, or I can't learn now how to pick properly. So now I'm in the game, coach. I am inspired. I know the only reason I'm single now is because I just haven't come across the person who is actually serious. Because let me tell you something. If the right man came right now, today, on this day, and was ready to settle down, oh baby, I'm ready. Oh baby, I'm picking him. Oh baby, I'm in the game. So I just want to tell you, stop telling yourself that you're not the one who gets chosen. That's not true. That is a lie. Dig up those roots, heal, and just think positively. Start changing the narrative of your thoughts. Like you just, it starts in the mind. Start now. Start today. We're not entering 2023 with that mindset. Start now. So I felt like I can expound on this subject because when I posted it, it was so random. It was literally a random thought because I was driving and I just had that thought like, um, it's been so many times in my past where I've asked myself that question, like, why aren't you why aren't you the one that the guy chooses? And I realized how negative of a question that is. Like, even asking that question says a lot about how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself. So if you're asking yourself, why am I never chosen? You're already feeling like you're measuring your worth, and you probably don't think that you are good enough deep down. You probably are trying to validate that, because when you're asking yourself that question, you're looking for worthiness within yourself. It's just a really negative question to ask, but I feel like a lot of people have, and that's why I felt the need to make this podcast episode, because I think it can free a lot of women and help a lot of women on my journey to stop asking myself that question, because I don't ask myself that question anymore because it's a negative question towards self. We should definitely lean inward, but it shouldn't be a measurement of value, because we should already know we're valued, and our validation shouldn't come from being chosen. It's not a competition. You know what I mean? So that's why I felt the need to expound upon it, because one, it was so random, but then when I posted, I got so many women thanking me and just saying, hey, thank you for this message. I needed to hear this. I feel like that a lot, etc., etc. So I knew it was a topic that, one, I don't see talked about a lot enough, because I don't think in our society we like to show polish. It's rare that we show vulnerability, because even vulnerability sometimes is not actual vulnerability, it's more so transparency. Because I feel like when you're vulnerable, like, you're literally bringing your full self and your full emotions to something. But like when you're transparent, it's more so like once you've gotten past something, once you could just say it, but you're not really giving your all to that space or that thing, right? But I feel like even in a lot of the transparency we see, or sometimes the vulnerability we see here and there, is polished vulnerability, is polished transparency. So you don't hear people say, listen, I felt like I was not good enough. I felt like in life that I was not chosen, and that made me upset, that made me sad, that made me feel some type of way. So to see all of these women post thank yous, and I'm looking at their profiles, and these are gorgeous women. I'm talking about like women who go to the gym 3 times a day, honey. They packed out, women with beautiful faces, beautiful bodies, nice, hair, nice jobs, nice clothes, all of this. But they're thanking me because they felt this way. So let's talk about it. So thing number one, I want you to understand why even asking yourself, why am I never chosen, is already says a lot about how you view your worth. You don't find a lot of worthiness in yourself, or you question it a lot, because to ask the question, why am I never chosen? Basically, you've already confirmed or spoken to the atmosphere, one, you're never chosen. You have the belief that you're never the one. So you never expect to win. You always expect to lose. You always expect to lose, especially in love. So that's why it's a negative question, number one. And then two, asking yourself, why am I never chosen, basically says there's something wrong with who I am and how God made me. So I need to fix what's wrong with me. Yeah, we all have flaws, but I feel like it's somebody for everybody, right? So if you're asking yourself, how can I improve or be the best version of myself? That's one thing, because I feel like we should all be asking ourselves that. But you should never ask yourself a derogatory question that basically you can't win. Like, I don't think you can win with the question of, why am I never chosen? Because you're already saying to yourself, there's something wrong with me. Throughout my life, I asked myself that for so long because I felt like something was wrong with me. Point blank and period. I felt like I wasn't pretty enough. I felt like the look of who I wasn't valuable. I felt like my personality was awkward and quirky, and nobody wanted me. No guy wanted to be with me. I felt like even my successes or like my go-getter attitude, like my status, the family I came from wasn't good enough. That's why men weren't choosing me. I felt like I felt so many things wrong. Like I literally saw myself as only flawed. And I tried to adjust to what I thought was wrong, quote unquote. And all of this stuff was shallow stuff. It was all shallow. It was all like looks like, okay, my hair, I don't like it, so let me go and do this to my hair. Okay, the way I dress, I don't think that the guys are looking at this, so let me do, like, I was really doing so many things just to get approval, validation. And the only way I felt validated was externally. Like, I couldn't sit with myself and say, nah, sis, you good. No, I needed someone to tell me that I was good. I needed someone to tell me that I was pretty, to tell me that I was fashionable, to tell me that I had a nice body, like all of this stuff. I needed that. I thrived off of that. Like, if I didn't get it, I was sad. Like, I was the girl that posted the picture on Instagram to get the validation, and when I didn't get enough likes, I deleted it. Like, and that came from that why am I never chosen? So if you feel like this, do not feel ashamed. It's a lot of women who grow old still feeling like this. But if you can conquer that now while you're however old you are, if you're 20s listening to this, if you're 30s, if you're 40s, whatever, it's never too late to find your self-worth. It's never too late to value yourself. Ever. Never, ever, right? So let's get into it. The first thing you have to do to conquer this why am I chosen question, so you stop asking yourself stuff like that, is to get to the root of why you automatically think I'm never chosen. What is the root of it? So me, I thought my root was I thought my root was, I'm trying to think of how early it started. Probably middle school. So middle school is when I really started to like boys. And this is going to be a story time, but I'm not going to get into it too much, but I may make this a story time this week just so you guys can listen to it. But in middle school, I'm from Mississippi. So I went to middle school in Mississippi, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, culture shock. I moved to Seattle, Washington. Huge culture shock. It was very, very different. But when I got there, I was accepted in Mississippi. Like, I fit in. But as soon as I moved to Seattle, I no longer fit in. So that's when a lot of this started. And I had a huge crush on this boy, but he absolutely hated me. Like, he hated me, y'all. Like, I was his Urkel. He was Laura Winslow. I was Urkel. He hated me. He was Eddie Winslow. I was Myra. He hated me, y'all. So that was like one of the big things. And then in high school, I moved to Atlanta. Freshman year of high school. And I got attention from boys then, but my mom was really strict. She really didn't teach me how to date or tell me I could date. Like, she was so strict. So I had to navigate that. But like, I always went for the most popular guy, the athlete, the pretty boy. And I realized I went after those guys because I felt like if I can get chosen by the most popular guy, then that would truly validate me. Because that would mean that, oh, the most popular person chose me, then that means like I'm the ish. That means that, you know? So a lot of the root came from, being rejected growing up. I was also bullied in elementary school. Can't leave that out. So a lot of that's what I thought the root was. But when I went to therapy and really started to dig, I realized the root was actually, one, of course, having a lack of a father, but a lot of it had to do with I didn't get those validating principles or those validating words when I was younger. Like, my mom wasn't affectionate because she didn't grow up like that. Like, She was the youngest of 12 kids. By the time my grandparents had her, they were in their 50s. She was a oopsie baby, basically. So she basically kind of raised herself. So she did the best she could. I love my mom to death. She did the best she could. She was a wonderful mom from the tools that she had. So she wasn't affectionate. She didn't say I love you. She didn't give us hugs. She didn't say I was beautiful. She didn't say I was. She did celebrate me for my intelligence. I can't lie about that. Like, she was really big on the fact that I was smart and that I was talented. So anytime that I achieved something, she bragged. But like, I didn't, she never like called me pretty. She didn't say you're beautiful, you need to love yourself. None of that. We talk about mental health a lot, but are you taking charge of your mental health journey? You already know I talk about going to therapy and how my therapist snatches my edges all the time, asking me questions that I would have never thought to ask myself, asking me questions that I've pondered on for years. But I want that for you. I want growth for you. I want the best version of yourself, because the only way to reach your goal, your potential, your destiny is to become the best version of yourself. And let that begin with therapy. So let's start with Talkspace. Talkspace has a promotion right now where you can get $100 off your first month. All you need is the code SPACE. Yes, SPACE, SPACE. Click the link in the description box to get Talkspace right now today. Let's start 2023 off right. We out here. I already told y'all we out here. So get it right now. Click the link wherever you're listening. Spotify, Apple, it's in the description box, even YouTube. Get it right now. $100 off. Like $100, that's a lot of money. Y'all better come get this. Come get this therapy. Come get this therapy. I didn't grow up with that foundation. I love when women grow up with that foundation. One thing I do love about the college Spelman is, if you've ever heard about Spelman, which is the HBCU, all women's college, they instill the principles of like, you are that chick. When you walk in a room, you that chick. And a lot of us don't like women who are that confident, but honestly, I think we don't like it because of our own insecurities, because we wish we could think like that. We wish we could move like that. Because when a woman walks into the room and she knows she's that chick, you feel it. She don't even have to say nothing. You feel it. Like, you can't, I've been in rooms with women when they walk in and you just like, she got that glow. She know her worth. You can see it. So the root for me was never having the validation young. So growing older, I didn't know why I felt the need to get it externally. It was because I didn't get it externally as a child. I feel like when you get it externally from your parents, from those people who are monuments in your home when you're young, it's easier to understand it and feel it in your adulthood. But when you miss that in your childhood, in those formative years, you go searching for it. And you usually, whoever responds quickest, that's how you're going to look for it. So some people, they had success early in life. Maybe they started making a lot of money younger, or maybe like they graduated top of their class. So they probably get their validation from success. If you're like me, I started getting a lot of attention from guys, and I liked how that felt. So I got mine from like guys. If you are the type of person who everyone loves having you around because you're really helpful and you like to be needed, then maybe you get it from like people needing you. So you're constantly looking for people to help. You're like Miss Fix It. Like, you like lost souls. You like to help people fix their life because that gives you validation. So I'm here to tell you, like, you can't find it in those things. You got to separate that. So once you figure out the root, then you have to dig that root up and face that root. So a lot of that, I talk about my therapy journey so much. And that's why, like, I'm a big advocate for pushing Talkspace, because listen, therapy changes people. Like, it really has helped me. But even just looking inwardly, like, even if you can't afford it, just stopping and just being with yourself and starting to understand and learn who you are and why you do what you do. And just learning to find value and love in who you are, where you are right now in this moment. And that is a very dusty, dirty journey. Because let me tell y'all something. When I was going through building up that Self-worth. Y'all, it was so uncomfortable. I cried most days. Like, I just, I'm laughing because it was just so awful. Oh my God. But it was so worth it. So, a lot of mine was just really being still. So, I stopped going out because I was so uncomfortable just staying at home doing nothing, especially when I felt like the men were outside. The men that I needed to validate me, they're outside. Why am I at home? So I started just being at home. I took a break from like drinking and going on dates and dating and all of that stuff. And I just sat with myself. And when you really sit with yourself, you start to hear those little ugly, dusty, stinking thoughts that you be thinking. And Joyce Meyer, The Battlefield of the Mind, that's a wonderful book. If you've never read it, please go get it. It is life changing. But she calls it stinking thinking, when you think these like wild thoughts that you don't even realize you're thinking. And you have to really think about what you're thinking about. And so I started to see a lot of that stuff and just dig it up one by one. Because one thing you're going to find out when you start to really get to know yourself and really healing, it's not just one thing wrong with you. It's a lot of things. It's layers to it. It's like an onion. So you're going to pick something up, you're going to heal that, and then something else going to show up, and then something else. But you get stronger with the process so it don't even knock you off your balance like it would before, right? So a big part of me getting to that place where I stopped asking myself that question, like, why am I never chosen? It was more so like being still, asking myself first, why do you need to be chosen so bad? Like, what's this importance in your mind? Like, what will it do for you if you were chosen by every single individual that you wanted to be chosen by? Like, how would your life look if you actually were chosen by some of the dusty, disgusting dudes that you used to date? You know your type was trash. If they chose you, you probably have no edges. You probably have a whole bunch of baby daddies. You probably just be out here wilding out, just bad credit, him using you. Like, just think about it. Like, just think about it. So what is this thing in you that wants to be chosen so bad? And for me, I had to be honest with myself. Like, the reason I wanted to be chosen so bad was it would have told me that I was valuable. It would have told me that I was good enough. It would have told me that I was pretty. Being chosen would have told me, yes, you're pretty. Yes, you're good enough to be in that circle. That's one thing I still deal with, y'all. I still deal with FOMO so bad, fear of missing out. I deal with FOMO so bad, and I literally just prayed over the weekend about it because I was talking to God on my walk when I was walking my dog. And I just realized that I still have this thing of sometimes when I get on social media and I see certain events or I see certain people hanging out, and I'm like, oh my God, why am I never in circles like that, around people like that? And it's like, God had to tell me, because you're not supposed to be. You're where you're supposed to be. Like, sit down somewhere. And so I have to still deal with that kind of stuff. And it's like, why do you even want to be in those circles? You know what I mean? So I still deal with stuff. Again, it's layers. But I do not ask myself, why am I not chosen anymore? Now I ask myself things like, why haven't I met a person who fits my needs? That's a better question. Because I'm not looking at myself as the issue. I'm more so looking outwardly like, I wonder when I'm going to meet that person. Why haven't I met that person? Is it because I haven't gone outside enough? Is it because it's just not my time? You know what I mean? So I feel like that's a better question than why am I never chosen, if y'all can't understand that, right? So we have to stop asking ourselves that question, because again, it already confirms the fact in your head that you're not chosen. So stop asking yourself that. Start asking yourself, why do I need to be chosen? Why is that so important to me? How do I get rid of the root of whatever it is making me feel like being chosen is the prize? Like, why is that the prize? Why is it the prize? So yeah. What else was I gonna say, y'all? I'll be losing my train of thought because I'm getting old. But yeah, oh, that's what I was saying. I was saying, one, get to the root of it. Two, just like really be still with yourself and just learn who you are, understand who you are, try to get down to the nitty-gritty, face that stuff, face that stuff, face that stuff. But really truly start embracing who you are. Like, start loving the good parts of yourself. I spend a lot of time now in the mirror, like admiring myself. Like, I literally admire myself now. Like, I'm no longer comparing myself to other people. I'm no longer thinking like, oh, I'm not good enough. I have moments when I go back and I look at pictures back when I felt horrible, I felt unattractive, and I felt like I wasn't good enough, quote unquote. And I'd be like, you was stupid because you was a baddie. Oh, you was a baddie. What? What? You don't wasted all these years feeling unworthy when the whole time you was a baddie, bro. I just think about, like, what if I walked in the confidence I had now back then? Y'all know I would have been married by now. Or at least got a few more trips out of the deal. I could have been getting flued here and there. Because, like, what is going on here? Like, what? Oh, I just get so mad at myself. But it's the past. Everything happens for a reason, whatever. But truly start admiring who you are. I've done things like in the past where I know Black women, our hair is like a big deal for us. We find a lot of validation and value in like our hair. So sometimes I'll take my hair out just so I know that if I feel beautiful, all natural, without a weave, without locks, without any of that stuff, then I can feel beautiful in all things. Like, I'm not really a person that wears makeup a lot, so that's fine. But like, I'll ask y'all that. This is a great exercise. What's that thing you feel like you need the most to be beautiful? Like, for some people it's hair. Me, it's hair. Like, I like to have my hair done. Some people it's, maybe your nails. Some people it's makeup. Some people it's certain clothes. Try to avoid doing that thing for like 2 weeks and see if you still can find beauty in yourself. So, for example, for me, I used to take my weaves out and just wear my natural hair. Not saying don't do your hair. Please do your hair. But like, if you rely on weaves to feel pretty, then maybe not wear a weave for like 2 weeks and see how you feel. And if you feel unattractive, then there's work to be done. Or maybe you don't like wearing your hair in natural state. You only like wearing it straight. Wear your hair in natural state. How does that make you feel? You know what I mean? You always have to have your nails done. Wear your nails bare. How will that make you feel? Like, really challenge yourself and see, like, okay, how can I be the best version of myself? So I'm hoping I'm making sense, y'all. But you really have to find beauty in who you are. But the main thing is stop asking yourself that. And because you're already putting into the atmosphere that you're never chosen. So I want you to start telling yourself, I'm chosen by who needs to choose me. I am beautifully and wonderfully made. I know this stuff sounds like cliche, but really you have to start shifting your mindset to get better results. Like, you have to. You have to. I'm telling you, you have to. Because what you believe about you is what leads in all atmospheres and all circumstances. Like, I missed out on so many opportunities in my 20s because I felt like I didn't belong in certain spaces. I felt like I wasn't good enough for them. I felt like when certain guys approached me, they were just so much better than me. They were so much out of my league that I self-sabotaged because I felt like I wasn't valuable enough to even be in their presence. Like, you don't even understand how many self-sabotaging situations I put myself in my 20s. But now, oh no. First of all, it's a present to be in my presence. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we saying? And these aren't things, like, it ain't even a cocky thing. It's just more so I understand who I am. And I like who I am. And not everybody got good taste. But also, some people want to be chosen by everybody. But that don't make sense to me. Because we all got different tastes. Like, I don't like everybody I go outside and see. And I don't want nobody who likes me to like everybody either. I want you to have taste. Like, I want you to have a specific type of taste. So when you meet me, I know you're choosing me and me only because you got a specific taste, and that taste is for me. So I don't have to worry about you wandering around, and you know what I mean? Like, we got to stop wanting to be liked by everybody. Like, we got to stop wanting to go outside. When I go outside, not every guy I walk by look at me or finds me attractive. And I'm okay with that. Because when I walk outside, I don't look at every man and find him attractive. We have to start being okay with that. Because it's like, but you should still rock with yourself regardless, because you shouldn't need that validation. I feel like a lot of times we want all the people to like us and all of the people to find us attractive because we're looking for that validation, and you shouldn't need that. So yeah, hopefully this helps somebody today, free somebody today. Because I felt like this topic was very important to talk about. But until next time, make sure y'all tune in to story time. I said I'm gonna talk about how how my crush hated me. He did. I was definitely Urkel. All right, y'all. Bye. Till next time.